Let's talk about the one thing that can absolutely make or break your writing: the sentence. Seriously. And forget all those stuffy, complicated grammar rules you had to memorize in school. Today, we're looking at grammar as a high-performance tool. It's your secret weapon for making sure your ideas land with total clarity and real impact. So let's get into it.
Have you ever written something, you read it back to yourself and you just think, it doesn't really sound right. The ideas are there, sure, but they just feel kind of weak, maybe a little confusing or just flat. If that sounds at all familiar, you are in exactly the right place. We're about to fix that.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to run a quick diagnostic on 3 of the most common sentence killers out there: the fragment, the run-on, and the choppy sentence. Then I'm going to hand you a complete grammar repair kit to fix them. And finally, we'll see a really powerful transformation from confusing to crystal clear. Okay, first up, we've got the fragment. The best way to think of this one is like an idea that started a journey, but, well, it never actually got to its destination. It just leaves your reader hanging, wondering, and then what happened? See what I mean? When we arrived at the restaurant, what? What happened? Did you eat? Did you meet your friends? See, this is a classic fragment. Yeah, it has a subject and a verb, but it is not a complete thought. It's a cliffhanger that nobody asked for. So here's the key thing to remember. A fragment is just an incomplete idea. It often kicks off with words like when, because, or although. These words are signals that more information is supposed to be coming. This happens to all of us, usually when we're writing fast, just trying to get a thought down before we figured out the main point. But for your reader, it's like being handed a puzzle with the piece missing.
And here is the fix in action. It's actually super simple. On the left, you've got those lost ideas. But over on the right, we've completed the thought. We added the rest of the story. When we arrived at the restaurant, our friends were already waiting for us. Ah, closure. Now that is a strong, complete sentence that actually tells you something. Okay, let's move on to our next offender, the run-on. This one is pretty much the opposite of the fragment. It's a sentence that has way too many ideas crammed together without taking a breath. It just keeps going and going and going, and it leaves your reader completely out of breath. Just try reading this one out loud. The students worked hard on the project. They deserved a high score. You can feel where the pause is supposed to be, right? It feels like 2 totally separate thoughts just collided, and the punctuation, well, it forgot to show up to the party. So a run-on happens when you have 2 or more complete thoughts, we call those independent clauses, that are just smashed together without the right connecting gear. It's a really common issue, especially when your brain is moving a little faster than your fingers and all these great ideas are just tumbling out. The problem is, this forces your reader to do all the work of separating the ideas, which can get confusing fast. And you know what? The fix can be incredibly simple. The easiest solution, a lot of the time, is just a period. Boom! 2 clear, separate sentences. Each idea gets its own space to breathe. And don't worry, we have more advanced tools than just the period, and we're going to get to those in our repair kit in just a minute. All right, our final problem isn't technically a grammar error, but it is a major style killer. I'm talking about choppy sentences. This is what happens when you have a whole series of short, simple sentences, one right after the other. It can make even the most brilliant ideas sound, well, a little bit simplistic. The source material we're looking at today puts it perfectly. This style can give the impression of simple-mindedness. It kind of suggests you can't hold on to a thought for more than a few words. Now, a short sentence here and there can be really powerful for emphasis, but too many in a row just drains all the energy and sophistication right out of your writing.
So how do we fix those choppy sentences? Let's take a look at the incredible power of a rewrite. I'm about to show you a paragraph that's really suffering from this problem, and then we'll see how combining ideas can transform it into something way more fluid and powerful. Okay, listen to the before version. Small sentences are boring to read. Many of them strung together look bad. They appear simple. It sounds almost robotic, doesn't it? Now listen to the after version. Small sentences are boring to read, and, in fact, many of them strung together look bad because they appear simple. See how connecting those ideas with words like and because creates this nice logical flow? It transforms these simplistic little statements into a much more sophisticated argument. All right, we have officially diagnosed the problems. Now it's time to open up the repair kit. We're going to focus on the run-on sentence here because it has the most versatile set of fixes. But these tools, punctuation and conjunctions, are exactly what you need to fix choppy sentences and build more complex ideas too.
Think of this as your multi-tool for sentence structure. Option 1, the period. That's your power tool for a nice clean break. Option 2, the semicolon, is a bit more delicate. It shows that two ideas are really closely linked. Option 3, the comma plus a word like and or but. That's your standard connector. And option 4, with words like however, adds a really sophisticated transition. Having all 4 of these in your kit makes you a much more versatile writer.
Okay, time for a quick pop quiz to see what you've learned. Which one of these is a complete grammatically correct sentence? Is it A, stepping forward shyly, the small boy? Or is it B, in order to stimulate economic growth, the government should provide more money to new businesses? Go ahead, take a second to think about it.
And the answer is B. So why is that? Well, because option A is a fragment. Stepping forward shyly, the small boy, and then what? What did he do? It's another one of those lost ideas. Option B, on the other hand, expresses a complete thought. It's got a subject, it's got a verb, and it makes a full statement. Well done if you got that right. So what are the big takeaways from all this? First, if you've got a fragment, you've got to finish the thought. Second, if you've got a run-on, give your ideas some space with the right punctuation. Third, if your sentences are feeling choppy, combine them to show how your ideas relate to each other. And finally, and this is the most important one, remember the goal. This isn't about memorizing rules. It's about making your writing clear, powerful, and effective. And that really brings us to the end here. The next time you sit down to write something, don't just put down words on the page. Craft your sentences. Build your ideas. Because a well-structured sentence is truly the clearest path from your mind to your readers. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What great idea will you bring to life with a perfectly crafted sentence?